Well, in other news, Jerry Nadler said the quiet part out loud. Top Democrat makes huge admission about assault weapons ban. Now, there have been a few instances where you had people like The View. You had other prominent Democrats coming out and saying the quiet part out loud as well regarding wanting to take your weapons. But this video clip, it doesn't get any more clear. And he doesn't get any more clear himself in his statement about what the bill does. So you have a House Judiciary Committee chairman, Representative Jerry Nadler. And just, again, Jerry Nadler's a Democrat from New York, so you can tell how far left he was or is. I mean, if you heard somebody from California, you would probably expect, okay, that guy's he's not a moderate Democrat, right? Just far progressive left. Well, he admitted Wednesday the purpose of a renewed congressional effort to pass a federal assault weapons ban is to outlaw rifles that are, quote, in common use. I mean, yeah, they're talking about the AR-15 because that's in common use as well, but there's a lot of rifles. There's a lot of rifles that are in common use that are basically just be expunged or out. They don't exist anymore. Though his administration may seem obvious, a committee Republican quickly pointed out that Nadler's statement shows how the bill flagrantly violates Supreme Court precedent on the Second Amendment. They don't care. These are the same people that think that you had a right to an abortion that was created by the Supreme Court years back. Yes, the Supreme Court created rights that don't exist. And first of all, it's not even their job to create rights. It's the legislative branch. But, Democrats don't care. Just as long as they get their way and go against our rights. The Judiciary Committee held a markup hearing on Wednesday for H.R. 1808, the Assault Weapons Ban Act of 2021. The legislation would ban AR-15 rifles and other so-called assault weapons. Again, assault weapons in air quotes, because they don't want to tell you what that means. I still don't know what an assault weapon means. Are you be specific in what weapons you want to ban. Just don't blanket statement and go, assault weapons, because we're going to take that as in that's everything. That's freaking everything. A pistol's an assault weapon, a handgun, whatever you want to call it, a long rifle, short rifle. Look, assault weapon is everything. And it makes me uneasy that this type of stuff's coming out by elected officials in the United States government that's supposed to uphold the Constitution. That's not doing so. As well as high capacity magazines. I don't get this high capacity magazine thing. You literally had Sonny Houston of the View the other day literally talk about how the guy in the Indiana mall shooting was lucky that he actually hit a moving target. And I agreed with her that it partially does possibly take luck to hit a moving target because it's extremely hard, especially when you got an active shooter on scene with you. You're being shot at. You have adrenaline going. Yes, it's extremely hard. And so rather than giving you more ammo to make sure that you can land your target or hit your target, land your shot, is they want to remove that. So instead of a 10 capacity magazine, they want to give you a 5 capacity magazine. Instead of maybe a, 10, 20, 30 plus round magazine, maybe get a barrel or something. They want to give you, 2 shots or something. I'm making that up. It's probably going to be 5 round magazines or something. But, then when you still have mass shooters still committing things, right? Because they're getting illegal magazines themselves, they're doing whatever it is. Then it's like no longer is a 5 magazine, 5 round magazine. It's now one round or whatever stupid BS they want to push. Altogether, what it's really about is just removing guns off the market altogether. So the criminals have them and then you and your family are screwed. It comes after a spate of high-profile mass shootings in recent weeks, including a supermarket in Buffalo, New York, an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas, and a 4th of July parade in Highland Park, Illinois. Prompted by these shootings, Congress passed bipartisan legislation that incentivizes states to enact red flag laws, which, again, we've gone over, doesn't exactly work all the time, to take away guns from dangerous people, strengthens background checks for gun buyers under the age of 21, and funds mental health resources. But President Joe Biden and other Democrats believe these measures did not go far enough and have pushed to renew the 1994 federal assault weapons ban that expired in 2004. So let's get to the clip here. Let's just do it. Let's see Jerry Nadler acting like a knucklehead here and saying the quiet part out loud for all of us to hear, because I want you guys to hear how the Democrat Party is going after your guns actively right now. Like right now.
Gentleman from North Carolina, seek recognition.
To speak on the amendment.
Gentleman is recognized.
I would like to yield to anyone on the other side who would dispute that this bill bans weapons that are in common use in the United States today. Would anyone on the other side dispute that this bill would ban weapons that are in common use in the United States today?
Would the gentleman yield?
I would for an answer to that question.
Yeah, that's the point of the bill.
There you go.
So so to clarify, Mr. Chairman, you're saying it is the point of the bill to ban weapons that are in common use in the United States today?
Yes, the problem is
If the gentleman will yield.
The guy literally, Mr. Bishop, literally had to restate his claim because he couldn't believe that. He just answered it so like bluntly. Yeah, we want to take them away. Yeah, it's common use. Yeah, whatever guns are common use. Yeah, we're going to take them out of your hands. And for those that are listening, they had a bunch of posters that said will not infringe, but yet they're trying to infringe on your Second Amendment right. And there is a little bit of precedence here in terms of wanting to try to take away your guns, because if you recall, the District of Columbia v. Heller, the Supreme Court established a common use test. And so that's why they're using that term common use. And this was to determine whether particular firearms are protected under the Second Amendment. The question the court uses to evaluate weapons bans is whether the target firearm are in, quote, common use for lawful purposes like self-defense. And you have gun right advocates arguing that since the AR-15 rifles are commonly owned by lawful gun owners, laws that would ban them fail the Supreme Court's test. Bishop made the argument during Wednesday's Wednesday's judiciary hearing. I wonder whether the chairman knows, I think the chairman does know, that there are more than 20 million AR-15s in the United States. That is common use. And in fact, the chairman, of course, know that because the chairman readily conceded, in fact, that the chairman said it is the purpose of the majority's bill to ban weapons that are in common use in the United States, going against what the Supreme Court put in place. And I think they're getting like a little bit of hope glimmer in terms of what the Democrat Party wants, because they're looking at the overturning of Roe v. Wade as an opportunity to have an overturning of Heller case, basically, District of Columbia v. Heller. So they're looking maybe at this as a glimmer of hope. I think it's nuts. I think it's wild, and they're going to continue to push this type of agenda. Look where they're at in terms of poll ratings. I mean, they're about to be shellacked in November, and rather than coming more middle, rather than kind of meeting Republicans more middle, they're going further left. I mean, they used to be pro guns. They used to like guns, and now they're just completely against it. I mean, they're like this with the First Amendment in terms of free speech. They want to sit there and censor conservatives, censor Republicans, and now they want to take away your guns. And people go, "Oh, you're crazy. You're conspiracy theorists. They don't want you to take away our guns." He literally just said he wants to take your guns. It talks about the word infringement, folks. Infringement. And then now they're infringing upon your right to carry the weapon that you want, that you choose, especially the ones that are in common use. It is so frustrating that these people are getting elected by other Americans. That shows you how far we are as a country and how ripped and torn our social fabric is when we can't even agree on the Bill of Rights anymore. That shows you how far apart we are in this country. You go after the guns, there's a good likelihood, man, that you're going to start a civil war in this country. You go for the guns, it's over. It's over. And the logo at the bottom of the screen, right? The logo right here. There's a reason why the head is turned towards the microphone. I designed this myself, and I specifically designed it very similar to the bald eagle for the American rug that's in the Oval Office. At one hand, he's looking at the olive branch. The other hand, he's looking at the arrows, right? Where if he's looking at the arrows, that means we're in a time of war. If he's looking at the olive branch, we're in a time of peace. Very similar to here. This is what this logo is designed to do. Right now, the First Amendment, we're being utilized. The Second Amendment is right there next to it. And so when that head switches, that means the Second Amendment's in place to protect the First Amendment. It's always like that, where you need your weapons to go ahead and protect the rights that were given to you by God himself, God-given natural rights. But I'm telling you, folks, the design of this is for a reason. The second protects the first can't protect the second. And when you can't utilize the first anymore, you got to go and utilize the second there. So there you have it. Democrats still pushing really hard to ultimately have your guns taken away. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.